Or have you ever thought that you might not be able to defeat the male protagonist at all? Just like that, the two of them stare at each other for a full 10 seconds. In the end, junior apprentice sister chooses to compromise. She promises Ling Xiao that she will wait for the martial arts conference, and then wait for his answer. And the most important reason he agreed to is that he wanted to take advantage of the situation. Wu Man will compete with the martial master brother and will fail. He will then be laughed at by his fellow students. All he needs to do at that time is to become the only light in the master brother's light and infuse warmth into his body. Everything will then follow naturally. Then he will run away with senior brother, creating 17 or 18 calamities for him. As he was thinking, he slowly stood up. Amidst Ling Zhao's surprised expression, he asked, "Senior brother, do you like Ying?" After receiving Ling Gao's affirmative reply, he plopped down on the desk. His jade paws kept waving in the air. Then Ying wanted the big brother to ask him if he would be willing to do it. Ling Xiao blushed when she saw him. The allure of this pair of jade shoulders was obviously deadly. However, he still chose to reject it. When combined with this little junior sister's charming and sweet coquettish voice, he could not refuse. Then Ling Xiao came to the river and rinsed his mouth over and over again. The unique hobby of the young junior disciple really created a shadow that was not small. However, having regained his senses, he also discovered a hole in the painting of the young junior disciple. Just then, the young junior disciple asked him, was the demon cultivator killed by the male protagonist? But having never visited Kanglan City, the young junior disciple, how do you know about Shimadoran? The more Ling Xiao thought about it, the more he noticed that sextipular aperture wasn't only his junior apprentice sister. Even his second and third junior apprentice sister and master seemed to have some kind of supernatural ability. So was it possible that they were all reborn, or time travelers who had the script? Ling Xiao didn't know whether they are as their heart's desire. But what is most important now is to rush and help the master. And in the lotus cave, the master sighs with a sad face. He worries about his apprentice all the time. 5 days have passed. Xiao should be back. If the big devil's in the script there, if Xiao ignores me, I will utterly destroy that Kanglan City with one sword stroke. Thinking and thinking, he shifted his gaze to the silk stockings at the side. If I wear this to go and see Xiao, will he be happy? Having made up his mind, the master began to put them on. However, the scene, Ling Xiao, who had come to report his mission, saw her just then. Ling Xiao was astounded at what her master was doing with her own 2 hands, while her master was gazing at Ling Xiao with a completely red face. After their 4 eyes met, they both blushed from the embarrassment. Ling Xiao could never have imagined that the Reverend would secretly wear such sheer black clothing. Has he missed his protege? However, immediately after, he was pulled back to reality by a cold voice. He saw that Ling Xiao's mouth said no, but his body honestly betrayed him. But when Ling Xiao opened his eyes again, he had already arrived in the spiritual world of the World-Honored One. The World-Honored One, who just now had a tender face. He'd better be more serious. He needs to teach that punk a lesson. What exactly is venerating the teacher's way? After 99-88 rounds of fighting, Ling Xiao was the first to succumb. He did not understand why. After such a battle, his strength appeared to have increased. Then, at the martial arts gathering tomorrow, aren't you going to beat me to death? Before Ling Xiao could recover his senses, Master lifted his wrist. He immediately probed Ling Zhao's divine history. He wanted to see what the Dharma treasure was. It could have helped Ling Xiao improve his cultivation so fast. After he probed Ling Zhao's divine history, Master's expression became very grave. Although Ling Zhao's Dharma treasure is only one component, but its formidable power even makes the world-honored and revered one afraid of it. Among the younger generation of the entire Azure Orchid School, no more than 3 people can defeat Ling Xiao. Even the naturally gifted teacher, when he was the same age as Ling Xiao, could only fight him to a draw. The sudden advance in his cultivation had Ling Xiao detect something. Before the male main character goes to the mountain, his cultivation had always been stuck at the spirit initiation stage. After the male main character goes to the mountain, in a month's time, he had broken through the spirit initiation stage and reached the Dharma idol stage, along with the fact that the female main characters had never followed the original plot. All of this, Ling Xiao can easily guess that all of this was brought about by the system. Fortunately, tomorrow is the 5 lineages dance. All the truth will be revealed at the cross, and he thought that he would soon receive his due and ascend to leave this world. Ling Xiao wanted to say something to the master in front of him, but for some reason, the words that were on the tip of his tongue. But how could he say this? However, destiny does not seem to want to give him this chance, because the bloodless drawing dance has begun ahead of time. The son of destiny's shameless act. Even the 10 elders could not stand it. Not only did he kill his fellow senior, even the achievements of his predecessor, the original one, I will replace him. But he is a righteous person favored by the heavens, who has fallen into depravity. Just now, Ling Xiao heard that the 5 elements swordsmanship had been passed down 100 years early, and was filled with mixed emotions. Knowing that he was about to leave, he felt a sense of reluctance, and at this moment, Master Feng Mao stared solemnly at Long Shou Feng Xiao in the distance. Tomorrow, you must go and fulfill your promise. At the current time, ensure that you go all out. For everything else, your master will shoulder the responsibility. Ling Xiao looks at the other party's hopeful eyes. After all, I'm reluctant to say anything. He merely nods silently. Afterward, he takes a deep breath. It is rare to see Master with such earnest expression. In the past dozen years or so, Master has raised children and cared for them, but has never said thank you. Here, please accept my obeisance, Ling Xiao said, landing on the ground, and respectfully knelt 3 times to the beautiful figure before him. He knew very well, in his heart, if tomorrow's competition succeeds, completes the plot, and is defeated by Yi Chen, then it is very likely that this is between the master and the apprentice. The last conversation. At this moment, even the red-minded fairy with a strong personality, the eye sockets turn red when they close, sour in the heart. Ling Xiaoqiang endures the emotions in his heart and induces, if something happens to me one day, I beg that master will take care of yourself. Ling Xiao forced a smile. There was something else he wanted to say, but was interrupted by a sob. That's enough. I don't want to hear any more of this. Tomorrow, at the martial arts contest at Wumai Mountain, I want you to beat that Yichin to a pulp. Get back to your master this instant. Your master wants you to serve him for the next 3 lives. Looking at the grown man, as beautiful as a painting, Xiao Hongling's eyes turned red, as she couldn't hold tears in any longer. Ling Xiao looked at his master, his shoulders trembling, as if he was crying. This enormous Qinglan sect. I guess that the person I always care about most is the master. Xiao Honglin finished speaking with a choking voice. Then he threw the jar of wine in his hand beside his mouth, leapt and left. Ling Xiao saw it. A sense of panic suddenly arose in his heart. He knew that there were some things he must say, if not now. That would be a regret for a lifetime. I saw him muster up his courage towards that back figure that was gradually moving away. He loudly confessed to the venerable master, "No matter where I am, I will always love you." This fervent and bold confession accompanied the fierce wind on the maiden peak. It had finally reached the ears of the peerless beauty. Xiao actually, as a master, I can say I like you. Xiao Hongling had been struggling with it for a long time, but didn't say it out loud. He didn't know if Ling Zhao's love for him was love between master and disciple, or love between lovers. He only knew. Once again, I led my devout follower astray. Upon returning to the dragon guarding Celestial Palace, my 2 fellow disciples, the first moment, reported what had happened in Ascendant Orchid City to the elders. The elders had not realized Ling Xiao was so untoward. Before the sect leader could reward Ling Xiao, the horticulture elder, Wen Yan, could no longer contain himself. He said with a smile, "This time what was killed by Tsanglan, it was not just Tianyin Tongzi. These 3 are third-rate guys." He was obviously referring to someone, and the headmaster had to continue what he said. Next, Guo was dereliction of duty. Those demons from the ghost sect of the demonic sect. Did the sect master of Li Xiao do it? The 2 junior sisters looked at each other, just when they're about to say that this is all Jian Yuan's work. The leading actor Yi Chen, at this time, standing up shamelessly. As the world said, kids of darkness, those small people like Jie Ocean. Perhaps it is Ling, who hand-attacked and killed the 9 bulls and 2 tigers with great effort. But this haunted house teaches the great witch doctor, and the 3,000 bronze armor masters, 500 disciples within the religion, all died under my Yi Chen's sword, while Gui Rong. Although, I witnessed Jian Yuan fighting with the demons, but this time he didn't have any evidence. The only one who could overturn Yi Chen's lie. I'm afraid it's only Jiang Yuan. At this time, Yi Chen was enjoying the flattery of his disciples. He felt the sensation of being worshipped by thousands of people. The pleasure of shocking these ants all the way tempted him. Old Master sure saw. Anna Yechen's face is extremely embarrassed. Really shameless. It's shameful to hang out with a person like him. That day, after Yechen killed innocent fellow disciples, destroyed Ling Xiao's token, stole other people's credit. In the following days, Yechen forced Elder Shi to pass on his burning blood orb. The heart is close. After the cultivation breakthrough, you return to the palace gate. And Yechen was still proud of himself at this time. He would definitely trample Ling Xiao under his feet tomorrow. Let Ling Xiao, the eldest senior brother of Divine Inscription Peak, lose his dignity in front of his junior sister and mentor. Worse than death. Old Stone, Yichen's disposition is unstable, and kindly remind him once more that secret method can indeed allow you to advance your cultivation swiftly within a short period of time, but during the cultivation process, it will consume a part of your luck and life force. Though Yichen did not mind. He believed himself to be son of Mandate's ultimate offering. What's the big deal about some luck? In the future, we'll make longevity elixirs, or find some saint maiden from the Hahuan sect, then we'll replenish it. Jian Yuan, the guardian of Long's Wufing, isn't dead yet, but also was definitely severely injured by me. He again comes to Wu Yang's mother to complain, not being able to hand kill Shi Modeo to avenge him, and does not have any confidence in Tianyin Blood Demon, rushing the moment of the seal, using the ultimate move with him in order to die together, because he and Yuanin had fought a great battle before, but only a few ribs were broken. I didn't think that Yiqing would attack me directly and injure me. I hate myself. A transmigrator couldn't even withstand a single blow from Yichen. But if I, a transmigrator, were to fall, then who would be there to protect the Qinglan sect? When Ling Xiao originally wanted to visit Jiang Yuan, he was stopped by disciples at the foot of the mountain. Lin Shoshi Revere's senior brother, who is currently practicing in solitude on Woodell Cliff and is not available to receive guests. Ling Xiao is quite surprised, knowing well that the great shaman had those demons killed by Jiang Yuan, and that he saw Yi Chan claiming the credit. Why doesn't he come forward to get married? Oh well, I just hope tomorrow's martial arts exhibition goes well. Don't give birth to any weird demons, okay? After Ling Xiao left, his 2 junior fellow apprentices appeared. They knew that Ling Xiao would be ruined tomorrow and be torn by the heaven's net Dharma net. But that also means that they might be able to spend the rest of their lives with Ling Xiao. Just as the 2 were about to follow Ling Xiao again, Junior Sister 3 has called out to him. Junior Sister 3 has also awakened the heavenly down memory for tomorrow's battle between Zhu Wanning and him, who Yilong definitely will accomplish. Afterward, he was even exploited by Yi Chen, the internal traitor, making him a part of his harem, even though he hates the senior sister's rivalry with him for the eldest brother. But he couldn't bear the senior sister being deceived by Yi Chen, that womanizer. However, Hui Yilong is not at ease, even if it is for Ling Xiao. He will be defeated tomorrow. The 3rd junior sister sighed softly upon hearing. He had planned to switch the battle order with his senior sister, so that he could battle Shu Wanning, so that his senior sister could preserve her strength and defeat that bastard from Yi City. And Yu Long also understood that he had wronged his junior sister. Both of their thoughts were on Ling Xiao. Neither wanted to see Ling Xiao's fate in the memories of the heavens. At this moment, the 2 let bygones be bygones. Since my junior sister and I share a common goal, then before we go into battle, let's have a good chat. Just the 2 of us sisters. My 3rd junior sister, Wei Yan leans up gently. As long as senior brother isn't taken by an outsider, then I could give up half the world to you. It seems like it's not impossible. At the same time, Feng Wanmingfeng's immortal pool, Mrs. Su, at a glance saw that her own beloved disciple was full of concern. Wanming, I can tell your mind is not at peace. Is it because of tomorrow's 5-pulse dance competition? If it's not because of the 5-pulse dance competition, then it can only be because of love, right? Zhu Wanming's small face flushed red. Su the widow saw this and let out a small laugh. Let me guess. Is it the chief of the Divine Will Peak, Ling Xiao, that you? Although Zhu Weining kept explaining that it wasn't true, Widow Su still promised. As long as you and Linjer are mutually in love, you should definitely go personally to Shenlun Peak and talk to your Uncle Xiao. Sure. Zhu Wanling fell silent for a moment. Even if the disciple is interested in the senior brother Lin, do you think he likes you? He has 3 beautiful childhood friends. They're all gorgeous. Su was wondering what had happened, and then he saw his master walking towards his beloved student. Those 3 naive girls know nothing as for men's matters, even though I've never tried it before. But my teacher was especially fond of looking at such books. As a widow, she pulled his beloved disciple into her arms. My teacher will teach you tonight to do something other than self-cultivation. What do men like the most? New characters. Princess Zhao Qingdai of the Xiao Kingdom. And Ling Xiao has one more little fan from now on. Just now, Ling Zhao's long-awaited dance of the pulse has begun. As soon as he entered the clan's gate, he heard a commotion not far away. He saw a woman being apprehended by the disciples of the clan. On the spot, however, the woman kept shouting that she had an invitation, but she had lost it. At first, Ling Xiao didn't care, as he recalled the story plot increasingly violated. The woman who appeared in this timeline, could she be the princess of Southern Xiaobao, Zhao Qingdai? In the original plot, the sect did send out invitations to other forces, and this Southern Xiaobao was one of them. Then this Qingdai was sent. You were sent here as a royal representative, and yet you ended up getting your place switched with the innkeeper's daughter. And not only that, you managed to get a demonic weapon in you, as you were passing through his house. However, if you approach Hu Mountain Town near the mountain pass, an alarm will be triggered. As for who the mastermind is behind all this, the nature is the old audio of gardening, and the real purpose of gardening is to make the disciples of the Lanzong execute the sect rules, wrongfully killing this princess of Nanzhao, thus causing conflicts. Let the forces of Nanzhao completely turn to the side of Momin. If the subsequent plot is correct, the male protagonist Yichen will soon meet, feeling happy for having helped Zhao Qingdai out of her plight, winning the beauty's heart at the same time, and also getting the support of the Southern Xia Kingdom, thus overwhelmingly defeating the devilish cult, laying the foundation stone for the Minjia Izran government, among which the most ridiculous is the demonic cult enchantress that Jiang Yuan let go, was exactly this Zhao Qingdia's elder sister. This way, Yichen would have 2 sisters in Nanshagyo. Ling Xiao from Xinxi Road left without looking back. It was time to witness the grand finale. He didn't want any more trouble. However, Zhao Qingdai suddenly rushed over and hugged Ling Xiao. He looked at Ling Xiao with tears in his eyes. See how these fierce guys are on your side. Could this elder brother believe me? I'm really the princess of the southern Zhao state. However, Ling Xiao suddenly looked back and saw Zhao Qingdian. He would secretly shout that the man was handsome. However, the scene made the disciples of the sect anxious. I'm so afraid that this monster girl will do something against Ling Qing. But Ling Xiao gestured calmly and told them not to talk. But with that gesture, Zhao Qingdai was completely won over. He thought that Ling Xiao may be willing to help him, but all of a sudden Ling Xiao said coldly and abruptly, I the chief do not know you. Second, bold women, if you are playing tricks, don't blame this chief for going ballistic. However, everything Ling Xiao did was to complete the system set villain character. Then Ling Xiao added another sentence. Business is business. Sure enough, Ling Xiao intentionally stalled and finally waited for Yichen. Yichen's brows were knit together. He looked at the beautiful woman mentioned by Shi Lao and then at the beautiful woman again. He didn't care whether or not she was angry with him. He kept provoking the Song King of Ling Xiao. This made him so angry that he almost lost his sense of being the son of destiny. Such a beautiful opportunity. I'm better off letting it go. But this didn't stop him from bragging in front of Ling Xiao. He threatened to step on Ling Xiao's dog's head to climb to the top of Lingji Mountain so that Ling Xiao would never be able to reach the scenery at the top. However, Ling Xiao didn't take it seriously. Instead, they were all dumbfounded. Miss Zhao Qingdai actually gave up on the world for you, disregarding her country and people. You just walked away. What kind of man are you? Zhao Qingdai watched as the loved one left and looked at Ling Xiao, crying pitifully. Meanwhile, more people gathered to watch the scene. Ling Xiao felt helpless. He had no choice but to cast a spell. He shattered the protective amulet on Zhao Qingdia's chest. He then said coldly, Alright, if there are no accidents, you can pass the test of the Mountain Guardian formation. Unexpectedly, this scene has again and again captivated Zhao Qingdia's heart. He is here. The first match was third senior sister versus Jinshu, one of the 6 winners just now, Yingxing. Tai Qingyin also attended this conference. It is clear how much Wu Man cares about martial arts. However, Yichen narcissistically believed that Yingxing came specifically for him. He glared at Ling Xiao, who was making faces behind him, and wished he could arrest this phony right now. And Ling Xiao, at the thought of being apprehended and humiliated by Yichen on such a grand occasion. This makes me a little uncomfortable. Seeing Ling Xiao's low mood, Venerable Master quickly gave a wink to Ling Xiao, gestured to encourage him. That's all. After today's battle, Ling Xiao will definitely be the most handsome guy in the whole audience. Then he turned his attention to the preparation. The 3 junior sisters in the area. It's all come to the last moment, and now she's playing the role of the villain. It's better to be good to them. However, Ling Xiao had just gone to the preparation area when the little junior sister hugged her. Wu Yurong and Chu Yue were naturally very happy that Ling Xiao came to watch. I hope they want to go and stick to Ling Xiao, but they had reached an agreement before. Fair competition. Before Ling Xiao makes a choice, don't get too close to him. As for junior sister's behavior, they all regard it as a junior caring for their senior. To resolve such an embarrassing atmosphere, Ling Xiao saw all of this. Without saying a word, he pulled the two ladies into his arms. He told them that in this 5-sec dance competition, they just needed to follow their hearts. As for the result, they would only know it when the time came. There was no need to try too hard. Meanwhile, Chu Yue said, he was the first to play. If I win the first game, I wonder if the senior brother can give you a special reward? Ling Xiao had evidently not considered this question. He had only come to express a little more concern for his sisters in words. However, Gu Yulong and Lu Yingying had taken it seriously and declared that he could not be biased. If we win the game, we deserve a reward. Ling Xiao regrets it so much. If we had known, we would not have come. As the whistle blows in the ring, the first one performs is Qin Yue from Qi Yifeng. His gorgeous performance attracts the audience to applaud. Then here comes Chu Yue from Shenlun. Although he lost his momentum, but completely crushed Qin Yue in terms of appearance, Ling Xiao did not expect it either. His junior sister would be so elegant on stage. According to the original plot, Yue would take down this Qin Yue with a decisive move. This could probably be considered the most effortlessly won fight in this martial arts convention. On the other side, Seventh Elder has already opened the betting. Although Yue's odds are very charming, but these disciples, they still bet on Qin Yue. In the original plot, under the guidance of Elder Shi, Yichen bought all Qi Yue. In the end, it was natural to make a lot of money. His heart was captivated by Zhao Qingdai. However, after Lin Xiaoheng interfered with the plot, he also does not know how it will progress. It just so happened that junior brother Huaizhen suddenly appeared, also wanting to scare Ling Xiao. Naturally, he stopped him and took all the snacks. Then, under the shocked gazes of everyone, he bet 500 on the over, inducing power 50 to 100 turns to defeat the opponent. The hunter minister, seeing this, could not help but sarcastically mock others for betting on the win or lose. You bet on the turn-based system. Aren't you afraid you'll lose your pants? Ling Xiao. Wen Yen just quietly made an international gesture. What the hell does it have to do with you? Although Ling Xiao is quite courageous, he's still not as good as his worldly master. His worldly master spent 50,000 temporary points to bet on Yue and defeated his opponent in the Shihui River. Ling Xiao couldn't help but sigh. As expected of the richest woman in the blue bamboo forest, she must have lost a lot of money this time. In the original script, Right Honored was able to defeat his opponent with 50 moves, and junior disciple Huaizhen could not believe his elder fellow disciple didn't reserve any strength for him. He went all in. At this moment, Elder Shi also persuaded Yichen to bet on Right Honored. You can think about it. Ling Xiao just looked down on him like that. The angrier he felt, 10 million was nothing. Xiao Yuexing finished his drink. Ling Xiao had bet on the wrong person. Just now, Ling Xiao even had to borrow 500 from junior brother Huaizhen to bet on Qi Yue. He could only defeat his opponent with a real move, but no one had thought that Qin Yue of the Shuyun sect would not be able to withstand a single move from Qi Yue. When the competition officially started, all the disciples were cheering for Qin Yue. They saw Qin Yue holding a long sword, but did not say anything and charged at Qi Yue. Just when everyone was blaming Qi Yue for not moving, his look suddenly becomes depressed. He just strums the ancient Qin casually ly. Qin Yue senses that something's wrong, but it's too late for him to dodge and can only resist. With a boom, Qin Yue flies off the stage, and it's unclear whether he's dead or alive. Even the disciples don't realize what's happened. Even Qin Yue's master can't believe the secret weapon of his Qian peak is just like this. The look he gave to Xiao Honlin suddenly became strange. The third disciple, Qi Yue, is so strong. Then the second disciple, Gui Yu, should be a terror. Ling Xiao was also shocked by the scene in front of him. To be shocked, he couldn't speak. You should know that in the midterm of the original story, Chu Yue did it for Yichen. That's why he burned his own essence, practicing this move that can destroy the earth and the heaven. But how could he have practiced it at this moment, when he practiced rapid heavenly demonic eagle in advance? However, of all the people present, only Venerable Qi was calm. Right before the 5 Veins contest, Chu Yue had already sought out Qin Yinzun's, but Qin Yinzun's couldn't figure it out. Chu Yue won't reach 10 yet. The supreme realm of uniting passion and sword. Why the rush? This demonic heart zither, which greatly hurts your body. Qi Yue gave only one answer to the eldest brother. Everything is worth it. When junior brother Huaizhen won against senior sister Chu, I thought my senior brother could earn a lot this time. However, Ling Xiao was blushing. He put a bet on the women's win, but it was a turn-based system after a real move. When seeing junior brother Huaizhen's disappointing face, he started to fool around with his junior brother Huaizhen. Ask junior brother Huaizhen to take out all the snacks. Next time you will win. But junior brother Huaizhen left his snacks at home. If he goes back and forth, the game will be over. So he made up his mind to go to Elder Chi's place to borrow some money as a bet. Elder Chi said, your master just made a big sum. Why don't you ask him to lend you some money? But Ling Xiao wanted to leave. A good memory for the master. Why would he ask the master for money? Seeing that Ling Xiao had borrowed money everywhere but failed, Yichen immediately came out and disgusted Ling Xiao. As long as Ling Xiao wants it, I'll ask him. He will help Ling Xiao to turn the game around. And Zhao Qingdai also saw Ling Xiao's desperate situation. She said, I'll lend you as much money as you want. So Ling Xiao angrily smashed 100,000, temporarily suppressing his own junior sisters. But an hour later, his junior sister won. Ling Xiao was instantly dumbstruck. Du Wanning deliberately lost to Gui Yurong because Ling Xiao once said, "It'd be great if Yurong could beat you even once." As the second round of the duel ended, although Ling Xiao lost 100,000 snacks, it also made him even more certain of the short-legged junior fellow apprentice was definitely like him. I know what will happen next. I know that no matter what, I can't beat Su Jingqi, so I pretend to have a stomachache so that I can turn the tables on him while he's off guard. But what can I do with this knowledge? My character Ling Xiao is about to die. Yet at this moment, Xiao Qingdai keeps mooning over Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao thought he was here to seek compensation from him. When he came, he did not expect that Xiao Qingdai would smile sweetly and say, "Hee, this princess has no shortage of snacks." And the reason why he was staring at Ling Xiao was because he thought Ling Xiao was really handsome. If it were not for the fact that the third contest was about to begin, he would not have been willing to move his gaze from Ling Xiao. Can you imagine that Ling Xiao just lost 100,000 snacks? He is back on the hook. He said that as long as Ling Xiao is willing, he can help Ling Xiao to scare 100,000 Ling each game. The stone Ling Xiao was scared by the dignity of the young rich woman to be frightened. However, the next game is about to face Yichen. Since it's fated, why don't you do me a favor? So he took Xiao Qingdia's hand and solemnly said that when he goes on stage, Xiao Qingdai should help him by 200,000 snacks. The snacks he earns just need to leave half for the precious junior brother Huaizhen. However, Xiao Qingdai had already fallen deeply in love by this point. At the moment he took Ling Xiao's hand, no matter what Ling Xiao said, he replied, "Yes, yes, yes." The two most powerful female disciples in the Qinglan sect. The match officially began, and as the two junior sisters unleashed their qi, Su Kuafu smiled in relief. Although Lu Rong was the youngest of the Qinglan sect, rare top talent, but now he's here to play with my clan. It's a sad fate to be a genius. Neither of them is in a hurry to start fighting. They're both gathering their strongest chi. The spectators off stage are amazed. She's the strongest female cultivator. Do you think she's going to use one move to win? The moment Yulong charged at Xu Wanning, Ling Xiao knew the outcome was already destined, because Yulong in the original novel had never lost to Wanning, accompanied by a roar. They both fell off the stage. Amid the gazes of surprise from the crowd, Yurong was the first to stand up. Shen Wanfeng's genius actually beat Feng Lingfeng's genius. Senior sister Gua finally got over her heart demon, defeating her old enemy. But only Yulong knew that it was not the case. He asked Xu Wanning why she clearly could have stabbed him earlier that day, but what she told him was actually congratulations, junior sister Gua. Xu Wanning smiled calmly. Her eyes were full of Ling Xiao's shadow. If only I could switch identities with my junior fellow apprentice Gua. Having a senior brother like you taking care of me. What use is this Azura battle body then? This is the final battle between the son of destiny and the villain. Although Ling Xiao had already made up his mind to die, but at the moment of real death, isn't he attached to everything he has? As the second set ends, the game has entered its white-hot stage, because at this moment, these two men like swift pawns can finally settle things fairly. The three sisters from the Shenluan summit have also put aside their past disputes, and are now watching the stage with grave expressions. Even Zhao Qingdai, who just met him, is cheering him on in her heart. At this moment, Shizuan already knows the final outcome, but he still firmly believes Ling Xiao is the true son of fate. But you can see the worry in his face. With Yichen taking the stage, this duel has officially begun. He is arrogant beyond belief. If Ling Xiao kneels before him and begs for forgiveness, then he will show mercy and let bygones be bygones. And Ling Xiao, even though I know this is the last minute, he himself had to continue pretending to be a villain. So the two started talking trash before the game. But what he never expected was the system actually came to make trouble at this time. It's just a dialogue. It makes his strength improve by another level. And the junior sisters on the stage are naturally unwilling to show weakness. Can't stand seeing that guy Yichen being so arrogant, while the master uses another way to support his own. Disciple is willing to bet the entire savings of the Shenwan Peak and gamble on spirit sale. Meanwhile, Xu Wanning also made up her mind. If senior brother Lin doesn't come here to overturn the battle stage and defeat Yichen, so he must be in the next home trial. Take Yichen's dog head. Looking at Yichen's invincible face, Lin Xiao is in a good mood as long as you are stronger. I am more and more relieved that you can kill me. Of course, this is far from enough. Provocation is often the best way to stimulate a person. Ling Xiao wants you to attack without reservation. Sure enough, Yichen is not what he used to be. Naturally, he wouldn't swallow this ill will. He unleashed a powerful move right off the bat. The disciples of the Divine Wheel, seeing this, became worried about Ling Xiao's safety, because this sword could not be blocked by flesh and blood. However, Ling Xiao only mobilized 2 out of 10 of his advice, so he charged towards Yichen. Ling Xiao didn't think of it either, that the final fight in his villain's career would be so successful. Based on the plot's development, he will be forced into a corner and become mad, taking out the competitive artifact he stole, the Black Lotus of Absolute Destruction. Yichen will be set back for a while, and finally use that terrifying ultimate finishing move, Great 5 Elements Extinction Sword Absolute. Then he will involuntarily admit defeat, in the final moment when he is devoured by the Great 5 Elements Extinction Sword Absolute. When the beautiful master appears, after the crime of stealing is exposed, he will be suppressed by the master, confined to the prison of the Fangs. His villainous life will soon come to a perfect end. Come on then. Yichen wishes his father success in attaining the Red Dust Immortal position. However, Li Xiao does not know this. The plot that he is expecting will usher in a great reversal. He waits for Yichen's attack, while recalling the last affection in this world. Perhaps he is very reluctant, yet in the end, you don't belong here. Watching Ling Xiao quickly assume a defensive stance, Hunter bitterly taunted the 10 elders. This is who you've always been afraid of. Someone whose abilities on par with mine. As it turns out, he's nothing more than a worthless piece of trash. Worse than me when I was dead. Xiao suppressed his cultivation base to fight against the male protagonist and beg for a bow. However, he did not expect that the system had not intended to let Ling Xiao die at all. Not only that, he also frequently triggered the rewards, allowing Ling Xiao's overall strength to improve once again. Just now, Lai Chen's full force attack directly blew through the entire arena. Many disciples sighed. It is impossible for Lin Shoshi to survive, so everyone turned their gaze to the venerable Ling Xiao Xiaohonglin. But to their surprise, Xiaohongling sipped his tea and didn't pay any attention to them at all. On the other hand, Yi Chen found it difficult to believe that he had so easily annihilated Ling Zhao's divine soul. Then he struck wildly. It felt like I was a god, and everything is within my control. However, a cold voice pulled him back to reality. Yi Chen, you piece of trash. I gave you a chance, but you still failed. Can you try to be more accurate? You can't teach a pig to sing. Actually, Ling Xiao didn't want to be like that either. When he was about to take Yi Chen's attack head on, that no-good bastard, the system's passive evasion skill, at once again perfectly dodged Wang Yu's attack. Fortunately, the Bacchus curse didn't activate at the same time. Otherwise, that idiot Yi Chen would be severely injured if not dead. At this moment, Yi Chen becomes flustered all of a sudden and hurries to ask the 10 elders about what had happened and gets the answer that Li Xiao thought that Zhao Yi suffered too much. However, how could Yi Chen listen to these words? He only wants to know how to defeat Li Xiao. But strangely enough, Li Xiao didn't even want to defeat Yi Chen at all, because the suggestion he expressed doesn't have any killing intent at all. If Yi Chen went all out, he would definitely be able to take Ling Xiao down. Upon hearing this, a smile finally appeared on the corner of Yi Chen's mouth. Although he doesn't know why Ling Xiao would do this, Yi Chen is more than happy to accept this kind of humble kneeling plea. Yi Chen would love that. Ling Xiao knew that Yi Chen had adjusted his mentality and felt relieved for him. He hoped that this battle could cause him serious injuries. Yi Chen had never seen someone who was so eager to die. That being the case, Yi Chen could only grant Ling Xiao his wish. He directly unleashed the most powerful killing force from the law of the 5 elements. The audience below saw this and couldn't help praising Yi Chen for being worthy of being the son of destiny. The younger sisters who have awakened the memory of the way of heaven know that it is impossible for Ling Xiao to withstand this move. Only brother Huaixin firmly believes that his eldest brother will not lose, because he is the turning point of Ling Zhao's victory or defeat. Meanwhile, Ling Xiao also senses something amiss. It seems that the plot for this final battle has been altered. Ling Xiao is forced into a desperate situation by Yi Chen. His 3 junior sex sisters beg their teacher to intervene, stop the match, as they know that if Ling Xiao is hit by this move, he will die. However, Xiao Hongling obstinately persists. Not only does he not admit defeat for Ling Xiao, but instead, he also lives in a 200,000 spiritual stone and suppresses Ling Xiao's saint. Just now, Yi Chen's aura is fully open. It is necessary to kill Ling Xiao with one strike. At this moment, my junior sisters who have awakened the memory of heaven know Ling Xiao couldn't take Yi Chen's blow. Yuan Yi, the elder on the elder seat, is also yin and yang strange. I don't blame Ling Xiao for losing to his own disciple. However, Xiao Hongling verbally abused him. Ye Chen was no match for Ling Xiao. He didn't even deserve to be mentioned. Elder Yuan had resentment in his heart, but he didn't refute due to his status. Xiao Hongling then looked at her 3 disciples and said that they didn't understand senior brotherly at all. Only I'm the one who truly understands him, because before this, he found, as long as it's Ling Xiao, he'll instinctively sense the crisis, so it'll certainly trigger that terrifying divine ability. And that's exactly what happened to Ling Xiao when he's facing Yi Chen's attack. An instinctual response was triggered once more. Mr. Wan Yugen not only dodged Yi Chen's attack, but also seized an opening to attack Yi Chen. However, Ling Xiao didn't choose to exploit Yi Chen's weakness. In order to complete the task of delivering the lunchbox as arranged by the system, he simply stood there and waited for Yi Chen to launch a sneak attack. As expected, Ling Xiao, the moment when his body instinctively sensed the crisis, the Bizuan Buddha suddenly appeared behind Ling Xiao. Even the audience below were marveling at the strength of Ling Xiao's divine power. However, it wasn't over yet. Ling Xiao's stimulated divine power actively attacked Yi Chen, although Ling Xiao kept madly reminding him, but it was still too late. Fortunately though, Yi Chen took the blow head on. But he didn't lose his fighting spirit. Ling Xiao wanted to cry. He thought he wouldn't be able to complete his mission and become immortal, but he didn't expect Yi Chen to stand up again. The horrifying killing intent in him, it's even more intense than before. The minister never expected it. Ling Xiao had yet another trick up his sleeve, but it doesn't matter to him. Ignoring the advice from the elders of 10, he will burn himself out, releasing his ultimate move. This time, even such a nimble and sinister demon platform found it certain for Ling Xiao to lose. The speechless old Yuan took this chance to come out and stir things up. He deliberately exaggerated how terrifying Yi Chen's ultimate move is. If he doesn't concede defeat, Ling Xiao might die from this move. Su Shozhua was obviously terrified by what the elder Yuani said. He is also reminding Xiao Hongling that winning or losing is unimportant, and that life is more important. The 3 younger martial sisters below the stage have already cried their eyes red because of this matter, and once again they tried to persuade their martial master to save their elder martial brother. But at this time, Xiao Hongling firmly believes that Ling Xiao cannot possibly lose. Not only that, in contrast, his family has an extra 200,000 spirit stones to pressure sacred Ling Xiao. On the side, Elder Yuan, as an antagonist, couldn't help but break out into a cold sweat for Xiao Hongling. Although he felt that Xiao Hongling's current performance was like a crazy woman's, for the demon sect's subsequent attack on the Qinglan sect, it was obviously beneficial. Even if I die, I have to defend the dignity of senior brother, because in Huaixin's eyes, it's absolutely intolerable that his most admired grand senior brother is bullied. And that was also his last words to Ling Xiao. Just now, Ye Chen again and again was defeated by Ling Xiao again and again. This made him feel that his sworn dignity had been damaged, so he spared no effort to burn his origin and released the ultimate move, the 5 elements of destruction. In an instant, a terrifying pressure engulfed the entire platform. This was undoubtedly the most dramatic match since the martial arts contest. Faced with Yi Chen's attack, Ling Xiao clasped his hands together. He had to send it out, the heaven-destroying Black Lotus. However, he never imagined that this heaven-destroying Black Lotus could actually be on par with Yi Chen's. Faced with Yi Chen's furious questioning, "What the hell is this magic weapon of yours? It can actually rival the top cultivation method from the last era?" Ling Xiao is also very nervous, although he doesn't know why. The Black Lotus will give off such dazzling light, but he is afraid that the villain Yi Chen will be defeated by this trick. Meanwhile, on the elder seat, Elder Yuan was furious and accused Ling Xiao of cheating. Actually took ancestor. Once the forbidden object that Master sealed on the Shenluan Peak, the other elders could not believe it. The heavenly severing Black Lotus is the Dharma treasure of the demonic sect. How could it have such a harmonious aura? Upon hearing this, Xiao Hongling responded directly to Yuan Yi, an old man, and did not expect it to be so brief. "If you can't see it, you can ask the Venerable." Elder Yuan stopped saying anything, just staring at the Venerable. From the Venerable, he learned, this day of day and night Black Lotus should have been refined by some expert. The evil of it has been transformed, known in the upper realm as the 12th grade Golden Lotus of Immortals. Although Master Yuani is extremely reluctant to believe it at this time, he cannot question the words of a noble one. After a long confrontation in the ring, Master sure has to come out to warn Yi Chen. If it goes on like this, I'm afraid his life's essence will be completely exhausted. But how could Yi Chen be willing? In this world, there is either no child of destiny, or there is him, Yi Chen, for the prestige of the prince. Yi Chen, even at the cost of his own life, must confront Ling Xiao. On the other hand, Ling Xiao, at the moment the heavenly extinction Black Lotus was sent out, he has the absolute strength to retaliate. But he must be patient. He must reveal a flaw to allow the beautiful master to come to his rescue. However, what happened next was something Ling Xiao would never forget. He watched in disbelief as Huaizhen prepared to charge forward. What kind of resolve did he need to have? He would be willing to give up his cultivation and abandon her for karmic near perfection. Great being. Right now Ling Xiao was in a panic. He knew what Huaizhen would do rushing up. As expected, Huaizhen immediately stabbed the sharp blade in her hand ruthlessly into Yi Chen's back. Huaizhen herself knew when he stepped into the ring that moment. He was waiting for his ending, but for Ling Xiao, he willingly paid the price of his life in order to defend the dignity of Ling Xiao, because that's his admired elder martial brother. He would not allow anyone to bully him. However, this trivial blow but did not cause any substantial harm to Yi Chen. Yi Chen also recognized Huaizhen. Huaizhen was the servant who helped Ling Xiao deliver the poison. On the day of the apprenticeship ceremony, Ling Xiao shouted angrily at his assistant, but the ending was already. There won't be another Huaizhen. Huaizhen is the one who first defended the dignity of Ling Xiao. The fact that she ended up killing the male protagonist and destroying the system, her demeanor as the greater villain than the one destined surpasses that of heaven. Just now, Huaizhen watched as Ling Xiao was about to lose. She rushed into the ring regardless of her own safety. She stabbed Yi Chen without hesitation. But a Qi training modifier, how could it possibly shake a Dharma treasure, ended up being tragically killed by Yi Chen, despite Ling Xiao's best efforts to dissuade him. But it was still too late. Looking at Huaizhen, watching his junior brother die before his very eyes, Ling Xiao furiously flung the Jiutian black curtain. With a flick of the wrist, the Cloud Dream Zay suddenly appeared. He wants to kill Yi Chen, seeking revenge for Huaizhen. At the first sight of each other, the heavens and earth shake. Yi Chen's arm was cut off effortlessly. The watching disciples discovered with shock. The sect master of Mount Shalon previously still reserved most of his strength. At this moment, Yi Chen clutched his wound and wailed incessantly, no longer with the former heroism, and Ling Xiao looked dazedly at Huaizhen lying on the ground. In the end, still cannot change this child's fate, but he still died for me. Huaizhen is now lying in a pool of blood, while Pamyeji she is continuously devouring her legs. Ling Xiao slowly walks over to Huaizhen with both reproach and sorrow. "You idiot, why are you so stupid? Why didn't you listen to me?" Hearing this, Huaizhen can only smile wryly. Even so, he still congratulated Ling Xiao on defeating Yi Chen first. And then, he said, that he didn't disobey the big senior brother. Huaizhen bought a plot of land at the foot of the sect mountain and set up a pig farm. He was ready to go down the mountain after the end of the Wuman Martial Arts Conference to become an ordinary person. And Ling Xiao also knows Huaizhen is afraid that he will not get used to eating the dishes made by the chefs of the sect. That's why he plans to settle down at the foot of the sect. In this way, he can come to the sect every now and then, cook for him. He knows everything that Huaizhen has done. But the most important thing is also the most fatal thing. How could Huaizhen just watch his own big brother being bullied by others? Huaizhen knows that he doesn't have much time left, so he asked Ling Xiao to promise him one last thing. When he was cleaning Ling Xiao's room today, he read Ling Xiao's farewell letter to his fellow martial sisters, as well as Master's farewell address. So he asked Ling Xiao to stay. After all, his fellow martial sisters and master all love senior martial brother. Ling Xiao cried again when she heard this. This fool only didn't mention himself, and I alone did not leave him a letter, and he was willing to give his life for her in order not to let Huaizhen leave with regrets. Ling Xiao promised her that he wouldn't leave. He will stay in this world to protect everyone. Huaizhen smiled happily, gradually closed her eyes. At this moment, Ling Xiao stood up again. He said solemnly, "Don't worry, your first senior brother will definitely avenge you." And after Yi Chen lost an arm to Ling Xiao, he decided to keep an eye on Ling Xiao. When he saw how intent Ling Xiao was on killing him, he actually panicked. "You can't kill me," he roared. "Haven't you always hesitated to kill me? You must have some reason you can't kill me. Think about it yourself. Don't be presumptuous." Faced with Yi Chen's last-ditch struggle, Ling Xiao did not fight. Changban retorted back. "Yes, stand and said." Look, how much do I resemble my former self? As soon as she finished speaking, a monstrous sand surged out of Ling Xiao's body. Meanwhile, the system detected Ling Xiao's killing intent. The system couldn't help but warn Ling Xiao, and when Yichen saw this, he had no confidence to fight against Ling Xiao. No longer caring about his status as a teacher, he knelt down on the high platform. He surrendered, and asking all the esteemed elders to save him. But all he was met with in the end was not salvation. Along with Ling Xiao's opinion, the system crumbled into ruins at this moment. Ling Xiao did not disappear from this place because of it. On the contrary, from one who played the role of cannon fodder, his classification was corrected to the great villain destined by fate. Henceforth, the world gained another person who would kill those from the righteous path. Master Nian has always supported Ling Xiao and resolutely killed Yuan Yi Lao Er. Just now, Ling Xiao successfully awakened the beacon and unlocked the true form of the system. But Ling Xiao didn't understand the upgraded system too much. He reached for Huaixin's cold body, slowly walked down the competition stage. Now that I think of it, you only wanted to bring Huaixin back to the mountain and bury. But Ling Xiao just turned around. A voice of anger came from behind. Absolutely cannot let Ling Xiao leave now. Everyone just now heard it. My disciple Yichen has admitted defeat, but Ling Xiao just forced him to his death, completely ignoring the Qinglan Master's rules, and not even considering the teachings of the Grand Masters, or the Masters and the others here. At this time, in front of so many righteous people, if we do not lengthen the rules of Ling Xiao's door, our Qinglanzong 10,000-year reputation will be ruined. It will be destroyed. At this time, several elders who have a good relationship with Elder Yuan Yi said one after another in agreement. That's right. He should just repay a life for a life. We shouldn't hesitate. But it's difficult for Taoist Zhangjia. It's known that Xiao Honglin is extremely protective. If he really kills Ling Xiao, I'm afraid this matter will not end well. But there are always those who are not afraid of trouble. Elder Bai Mingden states righteously that in the mortal world, there is a saying that if the emperor breaks the law, he should be punished just like the common people. This case will be handled with the utmost severity. Yuan Yi was so delighted by this that he almost clapped. He couldn't wait to execute Ling Xiao right there and then. Meanwhile, Ling Xiao was still completely oblivious. He hugged Huaixin and started walking toward the front of the stage. Yuan Yi knew that this was his only chance to execute Ling Xiao with a clear conscience. Now Yichen is useless, but his sister Yi Shuer is a bona fide Beijing queen. That is, the news of Yichen's death will reach his sister's ears. So, the Beijing queen who has 800,000 elite soldiers under her command, won't she avenge her brother's death? Then at that time, it would be the opportune time for the Mormons to attack the Green Willow sect. On the other hand, this Ling Xiao means that heaven can reach this and find that his aptitude is no lesser than his master's. If we can strike and kill him on the spot, then it can be considered killing two birds with one stone. At the thought of this old man couldn't wait to take action against Ling Xiao. On the contrary, Xiao Hongling's eyes never left Ling Xiao's body when she saw that someone was going to harm her beloved disciple. Without a second thought, Xiao Hongling dashed forward to intercept the attack. The instant they clashed, the huge platform exploded from the impact. The spectacle shocked everyone present. Even old man Yuan Yi remained frozen in place. He didn't dare to make a move. Helplessly, old man Yuan Yi knew that he was no match for Xiao Honglin and hurriedly apologized. But Xiao Hongling didn't even spare him a glance. He knew the most challenging ones to deal with were still the supreme elders on the high platform. So he decided to stop talking nonsense and let Ling Xiao return with him to be dealt with. Either let the elders see their most terrifying aspect in this world. As soon as these words were spoken, the elders on the high platform were furious. When had they ever been threatened like this by a junior? Moreover, he had not been disciplined. Wouldn't he be taking advantage of them in the future? Unfortunately, the only person who could deal with Xiao Hongling, only one of 6 victors, is a hero. Even the evil saint dares not flatly reject Xiao Hongling's request. You must know that the head of the 6 saints, true monarch Taiwu, once said, only Xiao Honglin can protect the Qi-Lan sect forever. Without the elder's obstruction, Xiao Honglin went to his apprentice. His expression becomes lonely. He doesn't want to see Ling Xiao so sad at all. Implores Ling Xiao not to ruin his health. He will feel distressed. Whereas Ling Xiao is also looking at the expression of his master anew. Since he has decided to stay, then he should not let the venerable Buddha worry about him. He answers with a smile, telling the apprentice that he knows. Please rest assured, master. After seeing that elder brother had returned, the 3 junior sisters were no longer able to repress the emotions in their hearts. They rushed up together, but before they could speak, Xia Qingdai of Nan Xiaobo suddenly said, "Perhaps I can save your junior disciple." Ling Xiao was delighted when he heard this. Perhaps the original will rise from the ashes. It is to compete with Ling Xiao for the azure blue magic sword. But how could I have known that Ling Xiao had already taken the azure blue magic sword for himself? Just now, Jian Yuan learned from his junior apprentice brother Su Jingqing that he had lost to the little junior sister of the Shenlan Peak. This made Jian Yuan, who had a system, very confused. The original book was Su Jingqing versus Lu Yingying. He should have won. But now it seems like Lu Yingying must have used some sort of trick. He doesn't know that Lu Yingying has awakened the memory of heaven. Otherwise, she couldn't have defeated Su Jingqing. Next, when Su Jingqing said that Yichen had lost to Ling Xiao, Jian Yuan was taken aback again. In the original novel, wasn't it that Ling Xiao was defeated by Yichen when using the woman's sword? However, when he heard that Ling Xiao had not only defeated Yichen, but also had severed one of his arms, Jian Yuan can't hold it in anymore. Ling Xiao is just a nobody, and he has a system. Yet he still couldn't escape being killed by Yichen. Is this fate? But he quickly cheered up again. As long as he can get the azure bamboo sword, Yichen probably is not his match. Then he picked up the fallen wine glass. He raised it and toasted to Ling Xiao. Although I don't know why you as a minor supporting character can change your own destiny, but I hope we're not enemies. This toast is for you defeating Yichen today and sweeping all victories. Go deep in the Lotus Cave. Ling Xiao and his gang just put the body of their young apprentice Huaixin in a guest room. his three little sisters start to stare at Zhao Qingdai, who mentioned Zhao Qingdai has a way to let Huaizhen's parents, so they look very useless in front of Ling Xiao to their three siblings. Secondly, they also saw that Zhao Qingdai has feelings for Ling Xiao. They would never allow an outsider to steal her. Zhao Qingdai saw the murderous look in their eyes and quickly hid behind Ling Xiao and complained pitifully to Ling Xiao, "Big brother, please tell these three fairy sisters for me. Your little junior brother is mad. Not yet stop smart help live. Just need to change body." Ling Xiao heard such words. He grabbed Zhao Qingdia's little hands, his face being earnest. "Miss Xiao, please let hand go do it. I believe you." Because Ling Xiao knew this Miss Zhao is actually same as his three younger martial sisters, with a special physique that is linked with the heart. In the original novel, Yi Chen's 9 nether demon beast turned into a pile of bones. Thanks to Zhao Qingdia's help, he managed to rekindle it. And at this time, Zhao Qingdai, seeing Ling Xiao trust him so much, couldn't help but blushed a little. But this made Ling Xiao's three junior sisters envious, furiously yelling to let go of their eldest brother. While Ling Xiao knew this was a special period, couldn't let the female disciples act recklessly, so he held the three female disciples and said, "Be good. Give your eldest brother some face. Don't delay Lady Zhao's treatment of Huaizhen, okay?" These three female disciples, right now, enjoy Ling Zhao's pounding heart, which will make saying no hard. But just as they left the Lotus Cave mansion, their master arrived. However, from beginning to end, he paid no attention to his three disciples. Instead, he conversed with Ling Xiao with great affection. "Just now, I paid a visit to the leader of the 6 victors. Nobody will blame you for seriously wounding Yi Chen. Enjoying the respect given by your master on one hand, hugging your three junior sisters on the other hand." Ling Yao's face grew thick. His face couldn't help but blush, but he quickly grasped the main point, that Yi Chen actually didn't die. He crossed the boundary. Ling Xiao was finally able to improve his relationship with Shizun. It was only a moment ago that Ling Xiao and the others sent junior brother Huaizhen into the icy cell and then ran into Shizun. The others thought Shizun would scold them. However, when Shizun approached and saw Ling Xiao present, he implicitly gave his approval. Furthermore, he will also allow everyone to enter and leave the Lotus Cave in the future. This made the three junior sisters very happy. But if Ling Xiao were not present, that would be a different story. And Ling Xiao also learned from his master that Yi Chen was not dead. However, the sword that Ling Xiao bestowed was really ruthless. I'm afraid that Yi Chen will only be able to see several of his disciples being so happy in his boyfriend's swordsmanship in the future. Master announced another great event. First of all, the battle between Ling Xiao and Yi Chen. Taiwu Jingjuan will not pursue Ling Xiao's mistakes and directly let Ling Xiao be the leader of this session. Go to Taitseng Mountain to pass on his heritage. But this was something Ling Xiao never expected, because in the original story, Yi Chen got the appreciation of Taiwu Jingjuan and told Yi Chen the specific location of the green orchid magic sword of its burial. But then again, since Ling Xiao decided to stay, then he naturally wouldn't refuse the suggestion of Taiwu Jingjuan's legacy, so he immediately swore to his master that he would definitely become mature tomorrow and listen to the teachings of the true monarch. Supreme Being was very happy and gently stroked Ling Xiao's head. "Now you're being good. In that case, let us hold a celebration for shower tonight at Celestial Maiden's Cliff. My apprentices and I will enjoy life tonight. We'll be completely drunk before we return. All friends are welcome. We'll arrange for 50 junior sisters, and you, their eldest brother." Turning into 3 junior sisters, the moment the girls heard, their eyes began to gleam. Just thinking about tonight, being able to drink close to the eldest brother makes their beautiful little faces red. After that, the master had the 3 junior sisters step down. He still had something to say to Ling Xiao in private, so during this dark and stormy night, Ling Xiao couldn't help but think negatively. But before he could speak out, the master said with a serious expression, "Tell me the truth. In today's battle with Yi Chen, are you deliberately losing the competition before Huaizhen comes on?" Ling Xiao was obviously taken aback after hearing this. He didn't expect that his actions would be seen through by the world-honored one, but then he looked downcast, because Huaizhen's death had always been a thorn in his heart. And as the master spoke, he began to weep softly. "Shower, do you know how much effort the teacher has spent on you over the years? I believe that if you knew, you would not bear to let your teacher down." Faced with the venerable censure, Ling Xiao only felt deep self-reproach. Yes, he knew that the teacher had done so much for him over the years. It was intended to help him rewrite his destiny, but he still hurt Master's heart even though he knew it was wrong. By all means, even if it was for a chance to return to being a man, he should not have let down Master's affectionate regard. So he knelt. He admitted his mistakes in the past. From now on, as long as he, Ling Xiao, was still breathing, he always tries his best to protect Shenhuan Peak from external worries. All fellow disciples will ascend. The master didn't expect Xiao Er's reaction to be so strong. He hurriedly stepped forward to help Ling Xiao up, but Ling Xiao knew he was guilty. Kneeling like this would make his heart feel somewhat more at ease. However, in the master's eyes, Ling Xiao's reaction made him mistakenly believe that he had said something too harsh, led to Xiao Er having such great pressure. But to say words of comfort, world-honored one suddenly thought of Ling Xiao in his head. Has always been watching him put on socks. Could it be that it's over? It's over. Only once. Who told the child to like you? Just when Ling Xiao had an expression of not understanding anything, Master slowly pulls up Ling Xiao's hand, gently lays it on one's own skirt. Ling Xiao is stunned. What the hell is going on? Elder sure made another mistake. Yi Chen has become corrupt. 7 days after Yi Chen was badly wounded by Ling Xiao, he finally regained his healthy body thanks to the halo of a protagonist. But he doesn't want to see reality this way at all, so Mr. Sure couldn't bear it anymore. He tried to persuade him not to be an enemy of Ling Xiao once more, but these sincere words in his heart sounded extremely sarcastic to Yi Chen. "Mr. Sure, do you remember when we first met? You confirmed that I was the son of destiny at that time. Does Elder Sure plan to find new love?" Seeing that Yi Chen is still being stubborn, Elder Sure could not help but sigh and said, Forget it, I've said my piece. Cherish the little you have. However, when Yichin heard Elder Shur say this in person, he was really flustered, because he knew that Shur Lao would keep his promise, possibly out of the friendship of many years accompaniment. Finally, Shur Lao gave Yichin a unique skill. In Nai Jianjia's secret region lies your other grand prostitute, Yuan. This person, perhaps the most important benefactor of your life's path, in no way inferior to this old man. At the time of our parting, this is a gift from me to you. Yichin gazed foolishly at the ring in his hand. He had already been gravely injured, and could not at all take in Elder Shur's advice. On the contrary, Elder Shur's actions completely enraged him. He put on a troubled face, using coercion. Do you know that my sister is leading an army of 800,000 men here? If she sees that I, her favorite brother, have been half killed by that villain Ling Xiao, do you think she'll spare the entire Qinglan sect?